Who look to have a good start. The tag restricted light class sponsored by Brian Hughes Motorsport. Blake Bundy starting alongside him with Zach Nader and Saxon Smith making up the second row. Phil Webb and Adam Smith making up row 3. It's important to note as well, as I said, this was lights, mediums and heavies combined. Tag restricted masters sponsored by Top Gun Driver Training. And we have Zach Cromie and Lachlan Burke rounding out round 4. Zach Cromie, a front runner yesterday, just got unfortunate in a couple of those heat finishes. He'll look to build upon the momentum he had on pace and translate it into some race results. Lachlan Burke, our front row sitter for tag restricted heavy, our Pit Motorsport sponsored tag restricted heavies. We thank each one of those companies for their support. Ryan Hughes Motorsport, Top Gun Driver Training and Pit Motorsport for making this weekend possible and allowing our tag restricted class to go head to head as they reach the formation line now. Chris Quinlan will see him around these last few corners. Blake Bundy starting alongside him. And 12 laps on the board. Heat 4. This is their last chance to try anything before the big one. They come to the lights. And we are going. Chris Quinlan sees him through turn 2. It all seems to be a very gentleman's game through turn 1 and 2 at the moment, with Blake Bundy losing one spot there. Zach Nader making it up in the number 14. You see Saxon Smith in P3. Adam Smith in the number 86 going around the outside there. Phil Webb under brakes. And then there is Zach Cromie, who's looking to make an impact early on in this race. All those front guys build upon it, but Quinlan out the gate nice and early. Zach Nader aggressive as well, getting around Blake Bundy as soon as he could. It seems to be Nader with the pace as they come around for the first time and into turn 1 and 2. Quinlan struggling with the rear end of that go-kart. It looked through turn 1 and 2. Zach Nader made up a little bit of time as they go through turn 3. Nader is closing on him in this early stage of the race. Too fast before they go. Will Nader look for it at turn 5? He thinks better of it. Blake Bundy sat there in third. Saxon Smith. They're still where Adam Smith actually make turn 5 with Zach Cromie coming worst out of it and looking for the spot, trying to gain an advantage.
Senior to the grid, KA free senior to the grid. To the rear of the grid, sorry.
But the order remains unchanged at the front. Quinlan, Platinum Motorsport, leading the way in this tag restricted class. And further back we have some fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing. Zach Cromie going wheel-to-wheel with Adam Smith into turn 1 and 2. So these guys a little further back are not holding on. Saxon Smith looked to the inside of Blake Bundy, couldn't make it work. There goes Cromie down the inside of Adam Smith, so he has cleared them. And we know Cromie has the speed. Can he make up any distance? As you see further back, going side by side, a little bit of contact through Dunny Corner for that back pack where Burke, leader of the tag restricted heavies, is just wanting to make it through safe and cleanly, staying ahead of Scott Dalton Kirby. Zach Nader still all over the back end of the leader, Chris Quinlan. Can he make an impact? Seems to be Quinlan's game down at these straights, with Zach Nader making up a lot of time through the back end of the circuit. But through this fast first sector, that seems to be where Quinlan is ever so slightly pulling away from him. Zach Nader back on the rear bumper. Will we see Quinlan motor through again and pull out that gap out of turn 3 and through 4? Fastest on track currently is Zach Nader until, and as predicted, Zach Cromie setting the fastest lap of this race. He's on the back of Phil Webb. Again, looking to make light work and latch on to Saxon Smith. He has the speed to be a front runner in this class, fastest in the field right now. But he will be thinking about setting himself up for the final. 7 laps to go on the board. Your front 4, Quinlan and Nader leading the way, remaining unchanged throughout this race. Maybe Nader treating this heat as just a bit of a learning curve, seeing where Quinlan's faster, where he's a little bit slower, where he can improve upon. Looking for any advantage, because in that final the gloves come off. As you look further back, Adam Smith going side by side with Michael Bazista, and Bazista finally making that move.
KA3 Senior to the rear of the grid, please. KA3 Senior to the rear of the grid.
So some great battles going on all throughout this field. And they seem to be split up almost in the couples throughout this race. Although Zach Comey should be in that front too. I would predict by final time we will see his name up in that front four.
Cadet 9, you are on the grid. There are a couple of drivers missing. Cadet 9, you are on the grid.
And folks, you can really feel that sun coming down and guarantee that will have an effect. And we have lost Michael Bazista with a huge lockup into turn 5. He's furious with himself. A big lockup of some kind, whether it was a mechanical failure, we will not know, but it just looked like the rears stopped for him. So very unfortunate as we look towards the front end with 5 laps to go. He will be furious as he was locked into a great battle, finally getting around Adam Smith. Quinlan already on the defense. Chris Quinlan up there at the front, covering from Nader, maybe feeling as though he hasn't quite got the speed to hold at the front. Very early point in this heat to be defending, but Quinlan has led the way. It's a strategy that works. As Nader again through these slightly slower corners, that's where he makes up the time. Will we see a reminiscent cover with 4 to go? Quinlan looks back, he thinks better of it this time. Blake Bundy taking a slightly turn line into 5 as well, as he just trying to cover the door from Saxon
Cadet
Smith.
9, you are on the grid right now. Cadet 9, we're missing a driver.
But still, the point remains the fastest on track, Zach Comey, who started from the back, only sitting in 5th. With 3 to go, I'm not sure he'll be able to catch that front group, battling for 3rd at the moment. Blake Bundy and Saxon Smith, so he will look to settle in this race, set himself up for a very impressive final run. Zach Nader a little closer to Quinlan. Does Quinlan look back down this straight? He does. He still thinks better of it. So maybe a mistake earlier on is what caused him to cover, but Nader is really hunting him down now through this tight infield section. Down River Straight they go. Into this fast left-hander, pull it up for the right before they approach Matthews Corner, where it is all about building up that speed for this run to turn 1. Quinlan, can he hold on with 2 to go across the line this time? Through turn 2 he goes. Nader again making up more time. They're going to go behind turn 3, we won't see. Out of the shed section, Quinlan with a bit more of a gap to Nader. Through fast 4 they go. Quinlan doesn't look back that time, maybe confident. Then Nader couldn't have had a run. Nader makes up so much time through this 5, 6, 7, 8 section. Almost looking to the inside at Dunny Corner there. But thinks better of it as they come around. They're going to receive the last lap board this time. Nader looking in a very strong position with a great roll of momentum from the last lap. Can he make it stick this time round? Quinlan takes turn 1 and 2.
Calling Lucas Dawn, you are on the grid. Lucas Dawn, Cadet 9, you are on the grid.
Out of the shed section, Nader looked to have made a mistake. Will Quinlan look back? He'll see he's got a couple of car lengths. He covers anyway. Quinlan to the inside. Can Nader make up enough time through this section to make a move? Nader thought about it. I think that will be our motor race. He looked to the inside, would have lost a little bit of momentum. Down River Straight they go. Nader just looks a little too far back now, but he will know where he's faster. Quinlan's still covering. They're going to come across the line, almost glued together. Wouldn't be able to fit a post-it note between these two as they cross the line. It is Quinlan from Platinum Motorsport as your winner in the tag restricted light class. Again, our special mention to Ryan Hughes Motorsport. Ryan Hughes Motorsport tag restricted light class. Top Gun driver training in tag restricted medium.